Hello and welcome to Gladiator Summit. I am Elliot Venruki Venzel, joined by
Jackson Bajira Blighton. Now, the WoW esports community features incredible teams, amazing players, and of course, the best fans from around the world, all brought together by our love for World of Warcraft.
Over the last 5 months, hundreds of teams from around the globe have been competing with just one goal in mind:
making it to BlizzCon. All right, guys, it's time to dive right in to North America. Up next for the NA region are the North American Regional Championships, which will be held in Columbus, Ohio, in the MLG Arena.
We have 12 of the best teams from North America going to Columbus. They are going to be competing for $100,000 in a LAN environment.
Yeah, the LAN environment is definitely a big change, but I think our 12 teams are up for it. Let's check them out. First off, we have Your Name Here, Method Awakened, and Sneaky Snakes. Now, Method Awakened is a team that had a little bit of a rough start, but lived up to their name by really waking up in the last few tournaments, boasting 4th place and 2nd place finishes, putting them in strong position starting off in the NA Regionals.
Next up, we have Onion Ball, Frogs in a Pond, and Baby Rage. For both Onion Ball and Frogs in a Pond, they started off very strong, and that's where they earned a majority of their points, only earning a little bit in the last few cups. So they're going to be both looking to sort of jumpstart and reignite going into regionals.
3 more big names from the North American region are Panda Global, Method Synergy, and Method Reborn. One of the names that sticks out to me is Method Synergy, who had a strong performance early in the season, but especially finished very strong by bringing on a 4th member of their roster and getting a 1st place in the NA Qualifier Cup number 5.
Yeah, next up we have our top 3 North American teams. That is going to be Union, Splice, and Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm especially having outstanding performances, especially in Cup 2 and 3, which they won. Tempo Storm feels like their biggest enemy is themselves.
Tempo Storm is going to be the first of the 4 teams from the North American region that we're going to be taking a closer look at. And like Elliot mentioned, Tempo Storm very much, confidence can be their strength, but it can also be a weakness.
Yeah, and speaking of confidence, funnily enough, these teams are only playing with a 3-man roster. A lot of the teams opted to bring on a 4th player to sort of round out their team, gives them more compositions. Tempo Storm doesn't think they need that. They think with Goreki, Peekaboo, and Jamili, if they practice enough, no one can touch them.
Yeah, the benefits are there's definitely more prize money for sure. You don't have to share it with another person. I think it's another benefit is like we've all played at LAN tournaments before, so we all have experience there and we know we can like perform under the pressure. So we don't have to, one of us doesn't have to like sit out and try to rely on someone else to win the game for us. It's all on us for that.
Yeah, Tempo Storm is known for boasting not only some of the best players in North America, but also some of the strongest personalities. Jamili especially lists himself in his Twitter bio as both a villain and a hero. And I think some of that complexity is maybe one of the things that adds to what an intriguing character he is, both in and out of the game.
Next matchup for you guys is going to be Panda Global. Any thoughts moving into that match?
Yeah, looking forward to it. They're a great team. No, it will be good. We'll be good. We're good.
All right, our next team up for discussion is none other than Method Synergy.
Yeah, Method Synergy, a very exciting team. Throughout the early stages of the Cups, they performed very well, relying on Mez on the melee, Maldiva playing the different casters, and Colo playing the healer role. About midway through the season, with the meta shifting, they hit a bit of a rough patch, but they brought on Trill as a 4th, which ultimately helped them win the last Cup.
Colo is a relatively new player to the tournament scene, but has definitely made a splash with his indomitable work ethic. I know that BlizzCon is a huge dream of his, and they're certainly on the right path.
Another huge asset to Method Synergy is Mez. Although known in the PvP community for his Death Knight and Demon Hunter gameplay, he's also a mythic raider and has been throughout all of the expansions. Top tier player all around, and I think that overall knowledge is a huge asset to not only him as well as his team moving forward into regionals.
And I know Mez isn't the only player on Method Synergy's team that loves cranking out that PvE damage. The Warlock Maldiva is known for his incredible AoE pressure in the arena, padding meters not only for show, but also for effect. We're going to be hearing from him right now.
At a LAN, the pressure is on. You can, way different from playing at home, but I love the adrenaline rush that you get just being on stage and the presence of being with your teammates, having them right next to you. So right after a game, you could talk about what happened. I love having a crowd and being able to see the fans all hyped. At Temple Storm, kind of like they're a really good team. So most teams are going to be a little terrified of them. In Cup number 5, the last cup that we won, we did have to fight against them, and we did beat them, but it was definitely a tough matchup.
And now we're going to be talking about an absolute NA powerhouse team stacked with tournament veterans, Panda Global.
Yeah, Panda Global has a very interesting story. Initially, RubCub was on the old Panda Global. They won the first cup, and only a week after winning that cup, he was voted off of his team, which I find a little bit strange.
The roster change happened, I think, because they were worried that I wasn't going to be able to play their healers as much, and Cubsy could play a lot more healers than me. So, I mean, it was whatever. I mean, obviously I understand because it makes sense, but, it sucks for me. I mean, I don't have, like, any grudge or anything against anybody. Just want to win, no matter what.
After that, he came back with an entirely new roster and got second place, really proving what an excellent player and paladin he is.
And one of the interesting things about RubCub is rather than playing the victim and blaming people around him, he actually says that his team's stumbles later in the tournaments are on him. He thinks that although he's one of the best paladins in the world, he does have to expand his repertoire in order to bring more healers to the table to expand the compositions that his teams can play.
These guys are going to have an advantage going into LAN. Jellybeans and Wallabear, really known for that Hunter and Feral gameplay. They have a lot of synergy together with Rosita Jones and RubCub. They're going to be looking to bring the heat very early on in these regional tournaments, and I feel like if they come practiced and well prepared, they definitely have a great shot to make it to BlizzCon.
We sure have been talking a whole lot about RubCub. I think it's time that we hear directly from him about his team, Panda Global.
BlizzCon is the goal, right? Like, winning regionals is good and like cool, but I think the goal is always for everyone to win BlizzCon. That's what means the most, because it's like the most prestigious title in WoW, right? Like that there's like no other like real tournaments. It's like the biggest one with everyone around the world. So yeah, it's definitely the goal.
And now we get to talk about the team that is arguably the fan favorite coming out of North America, Method Reborn.
Yeah, Method Reborn, truly an all-star roster. You have Sea-Doo, you have Snuts, Sam I Am, and Officer Bean. These guys are incredible players. They are the reigning North American champions. They also got second place at BlizzCon last year. With the new addition of Sam I Am on their team, this team is more well-rounded than ever.
Officer Bean, as you mentioned, definitely brings a lot to this team. He's a player that stepped up big time in clutch moments in last year's BlizzCon. He also happens to boast the highest win rate in the first 5 qualifier cups. But for all of the high action gameplay and skill that Bean brings to the team, he's also a bit of the team's stress relief, I think. He's got definitely a goofy attitude that at times adds to the brevity of the practice sessions, but also can be a little bit tilting, judging by Sea-Doo's stream.
The relationship I have with our team is like somewhat like brothers. Like, we're not afraid to yell at each other. We're not afraid to be confrontational. We're not afraid to, be like, you know what, screw you. You're doing this wrong, get in each other's face, and then, 5 minutes later, be completely fine again. I think that's pretty important to have as teammates, because sometimes there could be build up tension, and where if you're too afraid to confront someone or communicate well, it can actually lead to more problems. So I feel like being able to, openly express every problem that we have is really good for us. We all, truly and genuinely trust each other's opinions and voices. So if there's something wrong, I think we all respect that.
Yeah, Sam I Am, known as one of the best mages in North America, if not the best mage. Last year at Regionals, we saw him start off a little bit rocky, maybe a little bit of LAN jitters, but I think with Snuts and Sea-Doo on his team, these LAN veterans, he's going to be more prepared and more focused than ever. I expect big plays coming up from Sam I Am in this tournament.
So Method Reborn is a team with big expectations and lofty goals. Let's see what they think moving into the regional tournament.
Competing in World of Warcraft esports for me is kind of like, it's like a level and like a mindset that I feel like is unreachable in almost so many different aspects of life. To be one of the best at something, it feels like doesn't come around for too many people in too many situations, even though it's something like a video game, which some people may kind of look down upon. Not too many people can say I am one of the best at this or that or whatever it is. So to be at the highest level play and being better than almost everyone that plays the game, it's just a really empowering feeling.
All right, guys, now that we're all caught up on the latest From WoW esports, it's time to look towards the future.
We're going to be around the globe following these teams and players throughout the Arena World Championship to bring you an insider look.
Up next for the NA region are the North American Regional Championships, which will be held in Columbus, Ohio in the MLG Arena.
Remember to check out worldofwarcraft.com/esports for all tournament timings as well as all things WoW esports related.
Now, we will be bringing you all the action along the road to BlizzCon, but for now, that is going to bring this episode to a close. So on behalf of both of us here at the desk, thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute blast. And until the next summit, we'll see you in the arena.